right, guys, welcome. It's another edition of Tribal Football Road to Afcon 2025. Yeah, Super Eagles of Nigeria, boys. Semi-final. Who would have thought? I remember Bankole saying, you don't give them a chance. Alex Iwobi is this. Alex Iwobi is that. But hey, we're here right now. We're just 2 games away from lifting our 4th Afcon title. And I think Eric Chell has done a fantastic job. Not just for getting us this far, but also silencing his critics. And let me not lie, I was part of the critics. He didn't qualify for the World Cup, so it was enough to criticize him. But hey, guys, it is what it is. We are just 180 minutes, excluding extra time, away from winning the African Cup of Nations.
Or third place.
4th time. In my lifetime, we've won 2. I want to experience the 3rd.
Yeah. So I think this is one tournament where you would regard Nigeria as the most dominant side. Winning the first 5 games is not something you see all the time, and most of the teams who have gone on, who have done these consecutive wins, have gone on to win the title. The only team who failed to do that was Cote d'Ivoire. And you look at the Super Eagles of Nigeria, look at our performances. We've looked invincible, in certain moments. And
should that worry you?
No. I think it should even make you, less worried. It should make you assured about our chances of winning the Afcon. I look at Senegal, I look at Egypt, I look at Morocco. These are not guys who you would say, in the context of the tournament, have been overly better than us. Have been better than us. They've not, You look at Nigeria, you look at our players. Our attack has basically been the best. Our defense also, you would say, has been the best. We probably have also the best midfielder so far, in the tournament. So it seems like a team where every department is complementing each other. At the start, it felt like it was just being optimal. It felt like we were just being efficient. But now we've grown into the tournament, and we're looking like a team who can dominate. We're looking like a team who, can create chances for fun. And luckily for us, we also have 2 strikers who are also capable, of finishing off those chances.
Okay, your take. By the way, you're looking good. I don't understand. What is...
And this is your first show of the year.
This is your first show of the year. So you have to tell our viewers Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody.
That was too passive. Put emotions.
Be happy.
Emotions like you want
like
to
the, like the way, that emotion, the way we're talking about that stuff here.
Happy New Year, everybody! Exactly! Happy New Year, everybody. And I'm glad to be back. Well, let's see. The whole tournament, we really have no complaint. Nigeria has been fantastic. When you said that I had no hope, there were a lot of people that had no hope about Nigeria. I remember before we started the tournament, I said that when we go into the tournament with low expectation, we do well. We had low expectation in this tournament, and after the second game, I was just like, we'll go far. Because it was already clear, no expectation. Then the expectation starts to build as we go by. Just like in 2019, we went into the high expectation. Tunisia sent us out. 2021, we went into it with somewhat high expectation also. We got through. So 2019, we lost to Algeria. Tunisia sent us out. 23 and now 25, 26. We went inside there with low expectation and we are doing well. I think it's also a sign that maybe when the outside noise is not too much, the guys can focus on what it is. But it's been a fantastic tournament. I've seen us in knockout stages, in the group stage. We are 2 goals away from matching the most goals scored in an Afcon tournament ever, which was by Cote d'Ivoire, right? Which was 16. We have 14 goals already. You're almost assured with us averaging 2 goals a game. If we don't get it versus Morocco, we'll get it in the final versus Senegal or Egypt, whoever one that we face.
You're so confident you didn't even talk about the 3rd place.
No, why not? No. We're going to the final. And I'm really excited. It's been a fantastic tournament for Nigeria. And quietly, right, I think we have seen a lot to show the amazing thing in which Eric Chell can do. So the talent is there, right?
Yeah.
And we have seen the talent across time. But one thing that we always struggled with is having a good coach. Hence, we have missed 2 World Cups. And I think for once we have a good coach, good enough coach, because he loses the next game, you can already imagine that they'll be like off with his head, right? But we have a good enough coach. We are in the semi-final. We are playing well. We are being dominant, and no complaints. No complaints.
Okay, so guys, would you call this accidental success? I know we haven't won it yet, but seeing how far we've come and the type of football, the quality of football we've played so far, will you call it accidental? Because if you look through history, we always reference the 1994 team as the standard for any national team, forgetting that a certain 1980 team won the World Cup. But being that they won the World Cup and also qualified, they won the Afcon and qualified for the World Cup, and the quality of players that set produced, they also went on to win a couple of CAF Player of the Year awards in the 90s.
You said. It was literally all our CAF. It was literally all our CAF. 99, yeah.
I think 96 too.
Yeah.
We talking about what? So we dominated the 90s. Now, that team had structure. That team had momentum. It started with Westerhoff. I think 1989 when it was appointed to 1994, 1995, there was structure, there was progression. But if you draw parallels with this team, this is a team, like you said, we have failed to qualify for consecutive World Cups. We had a seamless Afcon qualifiers, but still there were question marks, and rightly so. Now we are in a tournament where we are tipped to win the biggest continental title. I've been thinking about it, like, did we arrive here accidentally, or was this a work of planning?
So let's look at it holistically here. Let's start off with the coach. This is a manager we stumbled upon. I don't think there was any planning, there was any intentionality that went into appointing Eric Chow.
There
was no planning. There was no planning. I don't think
there was.
I don't think so.
Talking with people that have been around the camp and know things from inside our nation, there was planning.
I don't think so.
One thing I keep on hearing is, like, they knew after the last Afcon, Eric Chow was going to be the person. But politics, or because of what he did with the Mali squad, everybody forgets that his Mali team was very good. Of course, he got knocked out by Cote d'Ivoire with 2 late goals, and his head was spinning. His head was spinning. But of course, Mali does not. Anyway, this Malian generation does not have, or any Malian generation does not have the same quality that we generally will produce. But there was planning. From what I've heard, it was that from then, people in the NFF knew this is our new coach. I don't agree. Politics.
I don't agree. If they knew it was our new coach, the whole merry-go-round of Finidi George, of Austin Eguavon, it was unnecessary.
So we know with things in Nigeria, it's never 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Snorkel. It is always
no. And Edwin, look, Edwin. The reason why I also said we stumbled upon Eric Chow was because the reports that we were getting was another name entirely. Before we settled on it, it was another name entirely. I can't remember the name right now, but it was like a Portuguese guy. Then we had Avi Renard before we.
Yeah, there was one who came and said. Then later they
exactly. So maybe in terms of financial packages or something. You look at all of that, and like I said, it was not intentional. What we did with Eric Chow was accidental. Same thing with the players. Let's look at our current crop of players. Calvin Bassey, we had zero, effort in his development. Same thing for Alex Iwobi. Same thing for.
No.
I'm not taking you. I'm even for this. Look at our key players.
Started with us
look at. Okay.
That's not accidental.
Leave Alex Iwobi.
Okay.
Calvin Bassey, Ademola Lookman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even the likes of Aqua Adams. We had no business with these guys.
But again,
Bright Osai Samuel.
Look at. Let's use England.
These were guys who.
Let's use England for example. Was there planning in focusing on guys like Morgan Rogers?
Absolutely.
No, now.
Absolutely.
They played in England.
Morgan Rogers was part of every youth grade, every age grade tournament at England. He was an absolute member at every age grade tournament at England.
Oh,
He
no,
did. It was no Morgan Rogers in the English national team was not accidental. He played for the under 17, played for the under 20, before finally playing for the Three Lions.
Okay, Declan Rice.
See,
Irish was at the last bit to play for England.
Look at Declan Rice. The Declan Rice record, for example, is also as a result of a stable footballing environment that has been established in England. The English Premier League is as a result of the English guys who did enough, who were intentional enough to create. He was also his entire footballing development also was down in England. The West Ham Academy, the Chelsea Academy, everything was in England. The reason why he could even represent England in the first place, the reason why he could switch allegiance to England in the first place was because his entire life, his entire education was in England. Do you think
I chose to represent
because they're not good enough? Ademola Lookman was not good enough to start for England. Let's not kid ourselves. Ademola Lookman was not good. Calvin Bassey was not good enough to start for England. Let's not kid ourselves. The reason most of the guys that are coming that are representing not just Nigeria, this is not a Nigeria problem. They're representing most of these African countries, the Brian Mbeumos, the Carlos Balebas. These were guys who, would I say, the best of the worst. The best of the worst talents from the diaspora.
I think you misconstrued my question.
Look,
I'm talking about this
Afcon. This AFCON, you look at, if we were being intentional about our planning, we would have been at the World Cup. If we were being intentional about what we wanted to do at this AFCON, it would have reflected on our journey to the World Cup qualification. Every single thing we did, you can't have 3 managers navigate a qualification process and tell me you were intentional.
No, I agree with you on that one.
It's impossible.
No, I agree with you because our World Cup qualifier was all over the place. We know it was a horrible time for us. But can we also agree that when Eric Chell came, it was, okay, his first 2 games were draws. And you understand because I'm generally trying to understand what I'm working with. But from then, it was like, okay, I generally have an idea of what I'm working with. And we are keeping on going. Yes, we got knocked out against the Congo, which is bad. Of course, Nigerians were angry at that.
Yeah.
But when you consider that he has literally only lost 1 game as the Super Eagles coach, right, which was a friendly against Egypt, 2-1, I think he ended.
Yeah.
You know, like at least from that side, it was a clear plan process.
Would you say?
Also, you look at it, right? There is nobody in our, all things considered, there is nobody within our starting 11, right, at this tournament that you say that got drafted for the first time at this tournament, right? We cannot say, oh, well, Akko Adams, this was the first, like, is this tournament made his debut? Like, say, Iwobi has been with us since 19, right? Osimhen, we know, star boy. Right? Lookman has been around for a while now, for at least 2.5 years.
2022?
Sorry,
2022.
Well, it's 2026. That's 4 years he has been around. That's enough time. that's a lot. Most of this team, right, aside from Akko Adams, has at least a minimum of 10 caps or more for the Super Eagles. This is not, we are just surprised you came. This is, Akko Adams is the one that will probably make 10 at the end of this tournament because he has played enough games to be like, okay, now it is 10. Everybody else is 10 plus. So they have been around. I think that is planning. It's not like I said, you picked up a tournament. Okay, we'll finish World Cup qualifiers, or maybe your first match for the Super Eagles was in the playoffs, either against Gabon and DR Congo, or your first match is the first game you played against Tanzania. That you're like, we had no plans.
And
you just fell into our lap.
The guys who fall in that bracket are on the bench.
Bingo.
As squad players.
And the only person is Akko Adams, who I think, well, before the tournament, it was 3 or 4 caps that he had. So it was like, okay, he just came, and you understand.
So the reason why it is okay to talk about all of this is because of the performances we've seen at the AFCON.
Yeah.
It's because of what Eric Chell has done with this squad at the AFCON.
Yeah.
So you can say, at the point of appointing Eric Chell, would you say he was walking into an environment that was built for him to succeed?
No.
So the old will I say the old benefits we've gotten since his appointment was down to the fact that this is a manager who has made lemonades out of lemons. This is a manager who has improvised, basically. We, as a country, we as the body, the NFF as a footballing federation, has done zero. Aside from just getting lucky with the manager, has done zero in terms of whatever it is that we're seeing right now.
You know
we saw
this conversation, we'll have it some other time.
No, just to wrap up, we've seen 2 instances where the players went on strike in terms of bonuses.
Yes.
We've seen on the eve of the World Cup qualification process and on the eve of the game against Algeria.
Yeah.
The game against Algeria, reports added that it was Wilfred Ndidi who stepped up and he was going to clear the bills.
He said we'll clear the bills.
That is, if that is not a sign of irresponsibility, incompetence, then what are we saying here?
Okay, so again, I know you want to have another go at it, but can we have this conversation some other time? Because I think it's
maybe after the Afcon.
Maybe because I think it's beyond even the NFF. It's beyond the NFF. It's just a microcosm of the country.
Yeah,
that's honest truth.
And we can just wrap it up. You're like, how many managers or coaches, if you will?
Now you're not wrapping it up.
No, let me just say.
Because you are throwing the line of question, or you wrap it up.
All right. Coaches generally.
We wrap it. What do you mean by that?
Coaches generally in sports do not get hired because a team is built for success. It is because things are not wrong, be it in football, American football. It's because something is not going around. That's why you change the coach. Unless, of course, they retire, then you can't do anything.
But when you consider that we're coming from the final of an African Cup of Nations, so things were not exactly bad.
Okay, guys, we're looking towards another final. Let us just keep this one. I don't know why did I even ask the question, but again, I needed to ask the question. So, let's quickly touch on the Algeria game. Let me start with you, Okechukwu. Were we so good that we made Algeria look bad, or Algeria were so bad that they make us look too good?
I think that it was a mixture of both. I think that we were excellent on the night, but Algeria also did not play anywhere to Algeria's strength. I mean, they had, I think, only 3 shots or 4 shots on game. 0 on target, right? That's just to clear to say you were not. It's not like, okay, we had a lot of shots on target and your keeper was pulling out saves and our defense were playing out their lives, so you'd be like, okay, this is that kind of game. But this was a situation of Algeria didn't step up or didn't play to their usual levels, and we played excellent, even more than our average level. I think both of them accumulated in that is just our most dominant play. And I'm adding that to when you even consider the 4-0 against Mozambique because of who Mozambique is. So I said this before at the podcast. I feel we could have put out a second squad, we would have beaten Mozambique. Not 4-0, but we would have won. I would have won. We would have considered that game would have probably ended a 2-1, not scoring late and running away with it, but we would have beaten Mozambique. Now Algeria is a different proposition, right? And we now stepped up with our first team and we're excellent. So yeah, Nigeria are playing at peak performance and Algeria are not even playing anywhere close to their average self.
Bakule, do you agree with it?
No, I don't. I think prior to that game, this was an Algerian team that had the best defense in tournaments. This was an Algerian team that had maximum points in group stages like us. An Algerian team that dispatched a DR Congo that we found it difficult to beat during the World Cup qualification. So I think what we did in that game, it was about us nullifying their threats. It was about us being very comfortable with whatever it is that they were offering. Up front, maybe fortunately for us, the injury to Baghdad Bonidja, it made it easier for the likes of Shemi Ajayi and Calvin Bassey to defend their false nine Amora, who is probably like half the size, of Shemi Ajayi. So you even look at every single opportunity they had at starting counter-attacks, every single opportunity they had at starting transitions, it was snuffed out quickly by Frank Oyeka and Wilfred Ndidi. This setup from Nigeria, our midfield combination ensured that we were absolutely dominant, both off the ball and on the ball. The way we pressed them, the way we made them uncomfortable, they couldn't build up from the back, they didn't have the physicality to match, our players. Even every 50-50 duels, was going towards the way, of Nigeria. And come on. I don't think it was them having a bad game. I think it was us. We were too good. That on the other side of it, he mirrored an Algeria team that looked bad. It wasn't about Algeria turning up or not turning up for the day. It was about Nigeria ensuring that we nullify their strength and amplify their weaknesses.
So we have Victor Osimhen on 4 goals. We have Ademola on 3 goals. Akko Adams 2 goals. I want us to focus a bit on Akko Adams and Victor Osimhen. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet. I said when you play with a front two, you need a main guy and a side guy. And if you look through history, where you have partnership, you have front two, it's always been like that. One guy has to sacrifice for the main guy. So it means that the other guy has to sort of like lower his ego for the other guy to shine, but you must compliment him. And the main guy must also understand that this guy is here to compliment you, not to fight with you. Again, like I said, if you go through history, you can at club side, at national teams, you can go on and on and on. I will also had our fair share with the national team. Do you think Akko Adams and Victor Osimhen have the potential to be our best front two in the history of the national team?
In this system, and from what they've shown so far, and for a country who have had a lot of fronts, a lot of two-man attackers, it might be difficult. But like I said, this is a system that Akko Adams has, I don't know, he has taken it like a dog to water. I didn't know he had it in him, I didn't know he had the capability of, running the channels, stretching, defenders. Even you could see how on the right, on the left, is quite comfortable, occupying, defenders and allowing Victor Osimhen, or mostly the person who is benefiting most is Ademola Lookman, occupy space, and having chances, to create or score for the team. So I think for Akko Adams, I've been largely impressed. And one thing I would say is also I've been very disappointed, because a player who I believe would have been perfect, for this would be Kelechi Iheanacho, a guy who had the perfect blend.
But had his chances now.
Yeah, like that's why I said I'm feeling a bit of disappointment, because his profile would have been perfect for this position that was tailor-made for a player like Kelechi Iheanacho, a player who can moonlight as a striker and also as a supporting striker. But for Akko Adams, he has been brilliant. Like I said, I didn't expect him to play at this level. He has always felt like an out-and-out striker to me. Both his time at Sevilla and also at Montpellier, he is the guy who you create chances for. He's the guy who you service. He's not the guy who creates the chances for another person. So yeah, if we go on to win the Afcon, if we've already failed to qualify for the World Cup, but if by miracle we get to play at the World Cup, our performance, if our performance is also determined, but in terms of talent level, maybe Victor Osimhen, but Akko Adams is not on the same level as some of the supporting strikers we've seen.
Amokachi.
Yeah, Amokachi, Samson Siasia. Brownie Day and Emenike. Yeah, I mean Brownie Day and Emenike. As much as you want to say in terms of reputation, they might probably be the least, but they're an Afcon winning partnership. So yeah,
in 2002 was Agawa who.
2002. It wasn't like
no, it wasn't Agawa and Agali. It was Agawa and Agali.
We also had at some point Martins.
Yeah, Martins was also Osaze Odemwingie also played a role, in that. So you look at all of these names we've called. These are guys who were, in terms of talent, are clearly superior than Akko Adams. But yeah, if he goes on to win the Afcon, then yeah, he has one up ahead of these guys already.
Let's talk about another player who currently is changing the narrative, and that is Alex Iwobi. He's having a storming African Cup of Nations. Now, we win the Afcon. Where will you rank him in the all-time great conversation? Because whether you like it or not, his number of appearances, his longevity with the national team, and crucially, again, like I said, there's a caveat. If he wins the African Cup of Nations, do you think he will rank higher than someone like Kanu Nwankwo?
No, he won't. No, he won't.
Whoa, slow
Kanu
down
Nwankwo won the Olympics medal.
Not our greatest
Kanu Anko
player.
won the Olympics medal.
Olympics is age
He's
grade.
no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
All the goals he scored at the Olympics.
Look.
Relax now. All the goals he scored at the Olympics, guys.
They are not counted to in the official goal.
It's age grade.
No, it's not.
Would you? Okay, so
With the national team, what is Kanu's legacy?
individually or with national team.
Finals.
You look at-
He made more finals. He has made it to more finals.
More finals.
Like I
How many
said,
finals? One.
more World Cups also.
One final.
Okay.
Kanu Wanko also played in
How
Kanu Wanko also played in
how
more
many
World Cups.
semis? Like why are we saying like
He won't be has
let's-
played how many semis? He won't be has played two semis.
He has played two semis.
So what are we saying?
Which two semis?
He has played
2019.
2019 and
2020.
He played one final. This is third semi. If he wins the Afcon, so again the World Cup. Now, before people come
Went
for
to
me,
more
this is
World
not
Cups.
He went to
disrespect
2018.
This is not
He went to
He won't be
2018.
was in 2018,
This is not
yeah.
disrespect to Kanu Wanko. Even the World Cup, no goals at the Afcon, no goals at the World Cup. For the national team, yes, we might say, oh, it's not about goals. It's still about impact. I'm telling you, if Iwobi wins the Afcon, by the way, he's had a better tournament than Kanu ever had for the national team at both the World Cup and the Afcon.
Okay, give him that.
So that's the truth. So if he wins it, where will he rank? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's going to be.
I still think.
I sure will put him ahead of Kanu Wanko.
I don't think I will.
No,
I don't think I will. I don't think I will.
Nostalgia that is at
No.
work here.
It's not nostalgia.
Nostalgia, it's
I
Kanu.
think in terms of
It is Kanu for what?
CAF player of the year. Are you?
Like what are we talking about?
Iwobi should submit his CAF player of
What
the
he
year.
did at his club side now.
Iwobi should do it as his club side.
Hey!
It is by running up and down with Fulham. But no disrespect to Iwobi. I think if he wraps it up with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, I think to a certain level he would be regarded as one of our very best. You know,
No, of course.
he would be regarded as one of our very best. Like you said, it is hard to comprehend that he has been around with the national team for a very long time.
For a
You know,
decade.
the game against Zambia or Algeria, the final game for the qualification of 2018 World Cup,
Zambia.
he scored in
I
that
was
goal.
there in Uyo. I
And-
saw it go.
The JJ nephew, yeah. But yeah, he has been, I think he will crack the 100 caps. I think he will surpass it.
He will crack the 100 caps.
In terms of contribution to the national team, also, I think he has also done well. Now, I want to, in terms of Iwobi and Victor Osimhen,
Yeah.
who would have the bigger standing at the national team if we're going to win the Afcon right now?
Oh, it's going to be
Victor
Victor
Osimhen.
Osimhen.
For the sake that he will most likely break
Break or equal Yekini's World Cup in a final.
tournament.
How
There's a
about
possibility.
how many? I think
I
two
don't think
goals
so.
away.
Yeah.
I don't. I
It's
think
two goals
everything you said in his comparison against Kanu
Yeah.
also has to count against Victor Osimhen. Longevity, his contribution to the national team. Osimhen was also in 2019.
Yeah.
And you look at Iwobi's contribution in that 2019,
Yeah.
he started almost all through the tournament. You look at Iwobi has played in the World Cup with Nigeria. Osimhen is yet to play, in a World Cup with Nigeria. In terms of number of caps, no, not all the time. Not all the.
In this situation, the fact that he's broken now, he's going to break
So-
the record.
Either at
In
this
record-
tournament.
Not just that, in record number of games.
So if goes
He's
trumps,
on 51
if
goals,
goes
51 games already with 35 goals.
Edwin,
He's
if
about
goes trumps it,
50.
Ikechukwu Uche
Yeah.
would have a bigger standing than Kanu Wanko.
But
If it's just about goals, Ikechukwu Uche outscores Kanu Wanko, and he also won an Afcon.
Again,
So it's not just about goals.
I'm not saying it's about impact.
And in terms of impact, who has with his gazillion number of goals, has he had a bigger impact on the national team than
Yeah.
Iwobi? I don't think so.
Yes.
Iwobi.
He has not.
Yes, he has.
He has not.
Yes, he has.
Do you know why? I think
Yes,
he has
he has.
not?
Didn't they start? Calm down. Didn't they start that Nigeria has
We have
not?
never lost when
Nah, I don't
Osimhen
think so.
scores,
Drawn.
and he has scored 37 goals.
I think
We've
Sorry,
drawn.
35
We've
goals.
drawn. We've drawn.
Oh,
We came
we've
against
drawn,
Zimbabwe.
okay.
And it
So
wasn't-
we have never
It was
lost.
outside the pitch, oh.
It was,
I
we
don't.
have,
outside
I
the
don't.
pitch.
we
I
have
don't.
never lost.
Look.
Bruh, that
Are
guy
we
has
joking
crazy
with me?
winning
Nah,
shows.
I don't
Are we
agree. I don't think
That's a
at
great
the end of this
relationship
Afcon,
with
at the end of this
Spurs.
Afcon,
Nah, don't do
I
that
still
with
think
Osimhen.
I still
Nah,
think
don't.
Alex Iwobi has a
Don't.
bigger standing than
I don't think
Alex.
he's world class,
no.
so even though
It's not even about world class. It's not about
no,
world class.
no,
It's
in
world
terms
class.
of impact for the
Nah,
national
nah,
team.
nah.
Nah, it's Victor Osimhen.
I don't think
But
so.
I don't want us to pit both players against each other. I'm just trying to appreciate
Yeah, both
what
players.
Iwobi has done for the national
No,
team.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And here again, as I say, as I've been saying for a while, with Iwobi, I've been saying
No, you
this
said he's the
forever.
best midfielder in Africa.
No. I said that there are not up to 5 midfielders
Okay,
in
there are up to
Africa
5 midfielders.
better than him.
Better
And
than
there are 3 that I say undoubtedly. I don't
Who are the 3?
Who are the 3?
Anguissa, Kessie, and Partey. Those 3.
Is he
I'm
better than
not
Brahim
go-
Diaz?
Hell yes! Yes! Man,
He's better than Brahim Diaz.
yes! And
No, look at the
those
camera.
3.
Look at the camera.
Yes! Yes!
What a Papa Gay.
Yes.
He's better than Papa
Yes, there are 3 midfielders in Africa or from Africa.
Okay.
They don't play Africa. There are 3 midfielders from Africa that I just
Anguissa.
think are Anguissa, Frankesi, Partey. Those ones I'm like sorry yo.
Wow.
Everybody else, Uncle Yasa, it will be.
This Super Eagles prop, we're not going to put our players
Yeah.
under the microscope.
He will be best midfielder.
Yeah.
We agree. We agree.
Yes.
Okay, guys, let's look at Morocco. And for Morocco, they have a fantastic team.
Yes, they
They
do.
have talented players. They also have the 12 man,
Yes.
the fans, and it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. They are 2 games away from winning their first Afcon since 1976. They pumped in a lot of money. They've invested heavily in sports, and that has also trickled into football. And you can see the results of the investment: Olympic medal, club size domination,
Yeah, semi-finals of the World
semi-final, and stuff like that. Now, this is the biggest one for them in their home country. How do you see this playing out? Because we're going to do this without the captain of the side,
Yes.
Wilfred Ndidi. Now, how do you see this playing out? Let me start with you, Okechukwu.
I think we'll win. I don't think we'll pull
You
up.
didn't even stop, I just went out straight.
I think we'll win. Right. I don't think we'll pull up and score 4-0 and walk away. No, I don't. But I think we'll win because of, you see that 12th man? I
Yeah.
think it plays into it plays into our hands. Because Nigeria can and will make it. We'll just keep things at 0-0 long enough that the crowd start getting on their neck. They start making mistakes.
Yeah.
Brahim Diaz killed little players. We would let him kick him a few times. I think. So my biggest problem when I look at that is a certain regime, Hakimi, if he's starting to bomb up and down that right hand. Hakimi, I think, is the best right back in the world.
Yeah.
So that means you're going to have to, Lookman, who has basically played centrally, you're going to have to help Bruno. That's just, the both of you are on defensive duty for that game to stop Hakimi from bullying everybody down that right. But I think that we'll win. Again, not by a big margin, but I think we'll keep it still enough that the crowd starts getting on the Moroccan players' necks, right? Why aren't they winning? Or
I think
their
that would become
performance?
counterproductive.
No, their performances will not be as good.
That's what
And-
I'm saying. You think?
it starts to play with them, and
Okay.
eventually they start to create gaps because what they will need to have to score, push up a whole lot. It will be with the pass, channel his inner Paul
Sexy penetrative passes.
It has to give us some Paul Scholes level pass.
Baki, are you on the same page with him?
Yeah, but I think the 12th man, the fans being counterproductive, I think is a brilliant point. You look at, and like I said, this is a game where for the first time in this tournament would be on the defensive, would be laid back and would have to absorb pressure. I
don't agree with
think
you.
I think this is the
I
first
think we
game.
have-
I think this is the first game where we probably won't be the dominant side all through the tournament.
I look at their midfield, and
I don't think so.
there's no one in that midfield that particularly stands out to me.
I don't think so.
Either they don't have someone who can pick a pass or can consistently pick passes like Iwobi has shown in this tournament.
But I think the pace of Achraf Hakimi and also the threat of Brahim Diaz would play a part in us being conservative a bit.
I don't think Diaz is better
The
than
absence
So why did-
the absence of
Yeah.
Ndidi would also play a part. And this is what I think about the Moroccans. in terms of the physical side of things, would clearly win all duels, and that is what we have to play to. You know, if you have Victor Osimhen and Akko Adams up front, ensure that you send those ball longs. You know, you send a long ball. You don't.
We saw them against Morocco. They were against Cameroon. They were more than happy to make this.
No. Like I said, if there's any team that has been affected by the Europeanization of football in Africa, is Cameroon. Cameroon is not the physical side we used to. They come on. They are probably the most physical player is Carlos Baleba. Let's not do this.
Those plantain having monsters that we play with.
When you look what was Kanemi or what's the other goalkeeper? When you look at him alone,
Can't get to all of them.
Come on,
they are sleeveless shirts.
What they did brilliantly against Cameroon was to turn those long balls to their advantage.
Immediately they got the second balls.
They were winning second balls.
Yeah, they were winning second balls.
And I think that is. I don't think that's going to be a problem for us. I think from what we've seen so far with Frank Oyedika and Alex Iwobi, what they've done so far, what they've done so far is their reading of the game, the anticipation of threat, and we saw it in Algeria with the way they've read the game so far. You could clearly see they are always anticipating where the ball will drop, and they're always getting ahead of their opponents. And whatever 50-50 challenge, you know, that is going to be going on against the Moroccans, I expect us to win it, because on the physical side of things, we are better than them. But on the technical side of things, I also don't think they are better than us. That's the thing. I also don't, in terms of, like I said, that's the reason why I think would be conservative. And with a player like Rafael Oyedika, which might prove to be a blessing in disguise for us, a player who is on the ball, I would say significantly better, you know, than Ndidi, who can pick a pass, who can kickstart transitions and counter attacks for us. And this is a Moroccan team that will leave spaces at the back. This is a Moroccan team that have shown to be vulnerable defensively. And you have probably the most devastating attacking, you know, front three with Lookman, you know, Victor Osimhen and Akko Adams. I think I agree with Okechukwu. We will beat them. Maybe not in the approach that he thinks, but I think it won't be as difficult as we are expecting it to be.
Is this confidence coming from the Algeria game? Or?
No.
It's coming from what we've seen from Morocco and Nigeria.
What I've seen from Nigeria and what I've seen from Morocco, I felt that so watching how we play, right, and I've said this before, right, I think when we play teams that make it, in quote, an African game, you get down on the ground and want to play aggressive football, then it's our problem, because those people are not ready to play clean. No, we're going to make this a battle. How much do you want to battle? I think we don't want to do that, or most of our players are not ready to do that with anybody. But when you want to make it a clean flowing playing game, okay, Nigerian players are more than happy to do that with. That is why in the final, to be honest, I would prefer the Egypt than Senegal, because Senegal is happy to make this a battle. How much do you want to make it battle? And I do not want to meet the Senegal. So if Egypt can just throw them out.
We'll get to that shortly. Finally, on the Super Eagles and Morocco, we're going to be tested.
Yes.
Wabali
has
against Mozambique and against Algeria hasn't made a save.
Yeah.
He's going to make a few saves.
He's going to have to.
Yeah.
He might not, but he's going to have to.
Make a few saves. Are you confident?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Well, he got us to the final last time out.
Yes, agreed. Right, the last time out, of course, that was him.
But a lot has changed since then.
That was him just coming into the side, and we were between Okoye and Uzo and whoever else were like, my God, help us. And Wabali came and
I don't think we're in that position of, my God, help us.
No, I don't think.
But I don't think it's as
I don't think as bad as that.
As prior to 2023.
Like when Wabali popped in, Nigerians were like, who is this guy? And we were like, we love this guy at the end of the tournament. So I don't think it is as bad as that. I think Nigerians look at Wabali how Man U fans used to look at Bates towards the end. That he's quite eccentric. Not that he's a terrible keeper, but guy, you don't overdo sometimes. You don't overdo. Just keep it simple, right? I think that by 2023, it was not you don't overdo. It's like we have nothing. Just let us put a whole defense in that box and in that goal line and hope for the best.
And
So
a lot
no.
of his errors also have been mental errors, not technical errors. You look at loss of concentration, him getting carried
Showboating
away,
and stuff like that.
showboating,
Unnecessary
going at
tantrums
the
and stuff
attackers.
like that,
Picking
I
up
think
yellow cards when you
that
shouldn't.
that is
Why?
our sole consolation for Nwabali. But in terms of being an adequate keeper, because that's the word you would use, an adequate keeper for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, yes. But my only problem is liable to get distracted, and if you are playing against a Moroccan team in a stadium that is surrounded by Moroccans, you will have a lot of distractions. Can you keep concentration for 90 minutes? That's the question I would have to be
And
answered.
also, I think, yes, it's part of his theatrics, but he came into this tournament injured.
Yeah.
When you properly think about it, he has not had to do any high-flying jumping so far this
Yeah,
tournament.
so we don't know the.
So we don't know
extent
the
of-
true extent. So when you start to hang balls super high, let us see. When we start to stretch you, how much can you take it? Right. So I think that's a concern.
That first El Kabi bicycle kick will change his life.
You're like, okay.
Any concerns with officiating?
And no,
Nah.
no.
concerns.
I don't want to. This whole conspiracy, we're playing Morocco in their home and whatnot. No.
Just focus on your game.
Just focus on
All
your
right,
game.
Senegal or Egypt, the
I-
second semi-final.
I think it's going to be interesting. Of course, this is the replay of the 2021 final in which
Yeah.
Senegal won it, right? And I think they've met a couple times since that game
Yeah.
also, right? And I think both times ended in a draw, or I think one win for either side. Senegal are the team that scares me the most in the tournament,
Very
right?
sound team.
Very, very sound
Yeah,
team.
Better than Iwobi.
I know. I see what you're trying to do there. Of course, Papige, even Nicholas Jackson. Yes, how high is Nicholas Jackson? He misses chances. Jackson has been decent, but when you're in Bayern, Hurricane will make you decent. And this, of course, started this tournament out well before he had to come off. The team has been solid, and I think that Senegal would be a concern for Egypt. But one thing I have noticed about Egypt is that normally for the Egyptian teams, historically, it's so post the 2010s, right, when they dominated, 2010s when they dominated, they now turn to a team which is very Europeanized. They are now trying to play. When they won that three-peat, you could see physicality in their game. Now it is we're trying to play. This tournament, I felt that there are some games in which they are playing opponents that want to make it a fight, and Egypt is ready to make it a fight with you. All right, Salah is having, I think, 4 goals now in the tournament.
He's having a good
He's
tournament.
having a good tournament, right? It seems like
Not
no,
extraordinary tournament,
but he's having a
it's
good
been
tournament.
good.
That's
He's having
it
a goal-scoring tournament.
That Jamie
Yeah.
Carragher said that Egypt was the most successful side before he popped into the team, and they haven't won it. Now
He's not wrong, though. Technically, he's not wrong.
he was right, of course.
Technically, he's not wrong.
That's half truth.
But I think that thing probably got him and be like, all right, I'm going to try and win this tournament finally.
But I think for Senegal, they are a well-grounded team.
Yes, they are.
Technically, they are sound. They have individual quality, guys who can decide a game. Physically, they're also good. You have experience in this team, at least quite a good number of the 2021 title winning side.
Koulibaly, Mendy,
yeah.
Sadio Mane.
They're still in this side. So I think when push comes to shove, they have better quality off the bench
Yes.
than Egypt.
Yes,
And I think that could be
think
the
so.
decider.
Well, I think I'm the only guy who believes in Egypt here, and the reason why is because I think I've seen a lot of Egypt game all through the tournament. In terms of a team who has been coached, a team who is playing to the instruction of their manager. I don't think there's a team, maybe aside from Nigeria, that has that imprint. I think
Senegal do.
No, I don't think so. I think so.
they do.
I think in terms of Senegal,
I feel like sometimes that they
in terms of Senegal, I think I think in terms of Senegal, no, for Senegal, no, not figure it by yourself. I think sometimes the quality of players trumps whatever inputs the coach might be having in that team. But for Egypt, I think
because it is too simplistic. You guys think
no. Edwin, it's not even
I don't think
simplistic.
that
I think Senegal has played probably the best brand of football. Their eyes in this tournament has probably been better than every other person. But yes, their eyes in this tournament have probably, even in the group stage, maybe they didn't get maximum points. But when they've raised it up a level, I don't think anybody has played better than them. But including Super Eagles. You look at. You
said it with a straight face.
Yes, including Super Eagles. Okay. In terms of having, the input of your coach, in terms of being I don't want to say coachable side, but Senegal have also had a lot of moments where it was down to the quality of their players. The quality of their players trumping whatever inputs their coach might have. But with the Super Eagles and with Egypt, it has mostly been about the coach. It has mostly been about the coach creating a system that has brought out the best, with the minimal quality that he has. Egypt they're not the side that had Abu Trika, that had, all Zizou, that had all those. Yes, they had all those guys anymore. We have a declining Salah and Omar Mamouche, who is not playing for Manchester City. So I think for Egypt, it is still a team that has also ensured that a lot of people have looked useless. Well, a lot of teams that have played Egypt have looked absolutely useless. Cote d'Ivoire, we're not useless, but it was not the Cote d'Ivoire that we've seen all through these tournaments. The Electric, the Amad Diallo, the Diomande, they were nullified. Same thing for South Africa. Same thing for South Africa too. South Africa, the KwaZulu Natal. It was absolutely, they were absolutely average. So if there's any team that can make you look average, just like the Super Eagles have done with Algeria, I think it's Egypt. So I will be going with Egypt.
Okay, so I on one of my shows, we had a very interesting debate, heated debate. Will Salah make the Africa 11 when he tires, like you do an African 11? I think he should be.
He will.
Will he make your Africa 11 without the Afcon?
He will.
And he is, if you go with the 4-3-3,
whatever formation you want
to. It starts on the right, Abi?
Yeah, it starts on the right.
And the name the guys brought up, and they try to defend it, as Maris.
So it depends what metric are you using to judge the players that should be starting.
So like the Afcon, like okay, if you are doing
Africa's greatest 11.
Yes, greatest 11.
For their national team or holistically.
Africa's greatest 11.
So Salah starts. It starts ahead of Maris. Not necessarily.
Do you know the problem?
Not necessarily.
And he's right. Do you know the problem with this? If you say Africa's greatest 11, the easiest name to always pop up in this will be George Weah, considered one of the best African players of all time. Unfortunately, played for Liberia, so they could never go anywhere. Will he make the Africa's greatest 11?
So the thing about George Weah is when you put him in comparison to Sadio Mane, who also was regarded as one of the best players in his position, who also won the Nations Cup with Senegal. Yeah. So you can see that the gap in terms of quality is not as wide. But the gap
of Liberia and Senegal.
No, in terms of quality, George Weah and Sadio Mane. Oh. George Weah might be the greatest the best African player of all time, but I don't think he's significantly better, than Sadio Mane. Two different players, obviously. Yeah. But in terms of quality, the gap is not as wide as you would want to assume it to be. And in terms of the trophy Sadio Mane has won, both with Liverpool, both with Senegal, it also trumps whatever George Weah has done with England, with Liberia, Milan, Chelsea, PSG. So yeah. But for Mahrez and Salah, Mahrez has won the Premier League title. Yeah. Same thing with Salah. He won the Champions League. So this is a close call. But
Champions League.
He won the Champions League, the treble winning season with City.
I thought he left.
No, it was after the treble winning season he left. Yeah. So you look at that and you say this is much more closer than your George Weah and Sadio Mane. But you just want to go with a player who you think is better, in terms of ability. Is Mahrez, actually a better player than Salah? Salah would probably go on to become one of the best Premier League players of all time.
He is already one of the best players.
You look at that, and I don't think you would want to.
I don't think the Afcon is enough to.
I don't think the Afcon is enough. I think I think the gap in quality between both of them is too wide for the Afcon to compensate.
No, that's exactly what I said.
It's too wide for the Afcon to compensate.
I don't think that the gap in quality is too wide. While I do believe that Salah is the better player, I don't think it is a heaven and earth kind of gap. I think that it is Salah is a better player also because.
Do you think the Afcon plays a part?
Yes.
In dropping Salah for Paris?
Yes.
Will Maldini make your greatest Europe 11?
Greatest Europe 11 at the end of the day, no. unfortunately, not winning anything.
Agenda don't
as
make
much
am.
as much as I love, and this
Agenda
man-
don't make am.
That's
Agenda-
what I asked you.
agenda don't
I asked
make
you
am.
guys, I asked you guys, who is the greatest defender? And
Beckenbauer.
no,
Beckenbauer.
they went with Maldini like, oh, Maldini. I just,
He didn't win. He didn't
I just
win.
did the reverse.
Yeah, you hook them. No,
See, so-
see, Maldini is my best player of all
And
time.
Milan was on the show. I was like, the difference is Maldini.
No,
played
you
in
cannot.
Nah,
And
And didn't Beckenbauer play in Europe? I mean,
Nah. And even for Maldini, there are even players who you would say, yes, Maldini is one of the greatest, but just like the George Weah, Sadio Mane comparison, there are players in terms of quality gap is not as wide. John Terry is also one of the.
Maldini doesn't make your greatest 11.
He does for me.
I don't.
It's the same way Salah does for me.
Unfortunately for him, when you're talking
Who
about
would you be
Europe,
taking ahead of Maldini?
Where would you put
And-
him? Left back or center midfield?
Or centre back.
sorry.
Center back. It would be
What
left back.
level?
I would have
Left
put,
back.
I would have put
So at
him in
left
left
back,
back.
who will you put in your greatest?
In greatest for Europe, you think about the likes of Facchetti then. You now think about people like and Bremer
The late guy.
of Germany. Like people that have won Euro or World Cup for their national team. Like
I think the only name I would accept is
Facchetti. Like you know have some people that like
Will you put
we
him
won
on the
champion.
level?
We don't need to vote anything internationally.
He
Stop.
will
He will be.
He
my world
hooks
11.
in, hooks
He will
in.
be my world 11.
He will be
also.
your world
yes.
11.
Both
Not winning
Europe and
anything.
Who will put him world 11?
I see
Facchetti, Carlos.
Then you drop Carlos there.
I'm not even putting. I'm
Carlos.
not starting Maldini as at left back. I'm putting
Centre
him
back.
centre
So
back.
why
yes.
are you putting? I'm sorry, guys. We just have to take this
Yeah.
detour. Maldini is centre back. Interesting. Who will you
I'll put Facchetti at left back.
like your world 11?
My world 11.
Yeah. Who will you play Maldini with?
But Pierre Maldini. I'll probably Pierre Maldini with Beckenbauer.
Beckenbauer.
No. There's no.
That would have
There's
been
no. I don't think there's any
He won't
argument.
make my own 11 shot.
I understand
I'll
because
play Maldini.
when you don't
I'll
win,
go,
that,
I'll go
it
with
don't hook
Baresi and Beckenbauer
you. Yeah.
for me. I
Then
think-
who will you
I
put at
think
left back?
World,
Yeah.
Yeah, World or
Greatest.
Europe? Yeah,
Carlos
Carlos
goes
for
in
World.
at
Yeah.
left back. But Europe, Maldini is my left back. Easily, I don't think not winning the Euros. Again, it's a moment's thing. Sometimes it's time and chance.
Yes, I completely
To
agree.
get time
Look
and
at
chance.
Raul never won.
2006, like he was like they gave him a position on the platter of gold, and he told Lippi that, you know what, I've had my time. I've played the World Cup final and lost, Euros final and lost. Just let the other guys. Do you get to? And
Maldini was part of the 90.
94. He was part of 94.
yeah, 93 team too. So 1990,
No, the 1990 team
yeah,
that took
won
bronze.
bronze.
1990
won
was
silver,
part of
unfortunately.
94.
So it's time and chance. Time and chance. Materazzi is the World Cup winner,
Yeah.
and Maldini is not. So it doesn't make him.
Grosso is a World Cup winner.
Yeah. So let's come back to the Afcon. It's time to get your predictions.
Nigeria Egypt final.
Nigeria Egypt final.
I think it will be Nigeria Senegal. Unfortunately, I think Senegal. will find
Unfortunately for who?
for us, I don't want to miss Senegal in the final.
Oh, you think it's
Yeah, I
Nigeria,
think
Senegal?
it will be Nigeria Senegal.
Interesting. Any your front runner for the MVP? Team
MVP.
player of the tournament?
So far, Brahim Diaz. I think he has been fantastic.
I think if we go on to win, which I want us to, I think it has to go to Ademola Lookman. And the final two games would also decide. I think the final two games
I'm
would
just
also
saying, like,
decide.
for now, you're
But I think
Brahim
Ademola Lookman for me.
Diaz.
So we have three players on 5-4 goals respectively.
Yeah.
Brahim Diaz 5 goals, Osimhen and Salah.
And
Salah 4 goals.
4
each.
goals.
yeah.
Then Lookman on
Lookman
I
three
think
goals.
someone else. Doesn't 3 people have 4 goals?
No, 2.
Okay.
Then you have Kalbi and Ademola Lookman on
With
3
3.
goals.
Okay.
Who will end up as top scorer?
Top scorer.
Because and all the
Yeah,
all the
that was
front
yeah,
runners
would play the maximum amount of games.
Number of games left.
Victor Osimhen.
Osimhen.
Yeah, Victor Osimhen.
I think it will be Osimhen also. Fun fact, right? And I saw this, that everybody that has won the CAF Player of the Year since 2018 are all still left in the tournament. Everybody that has won the Cup Player of the Year are still left
Since
in
2018.
Salah,
since 2018. Salah, Hakimi,
Osimhen,
Mane,
When did
Lukman.
Aubameyang win it?
No, that was before
That was
2018.
before 2018.
That was before
Are you
2018.
serious?
Yeah,
that was before
it
2018.
is that everybody that has won the Cup Player of the Year are still all in.
It's a star-studded
It's a star-studded
lineup.
thing. Oh, before you guys go, before we end, I do want to ask this. I saw someone put out a tweet that this team, this current Super Eagles team, unfortunately had a problem with coaching across his timeline. That this was potentially a golden generation that never was.
No, it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't a golden
That
generation.
that by
Oh, it is not a
2030,
golden
yeah,
generation.
that, well,
Nah.
because they're still playing. That by 2030 they'll all be mid-30s and whatnot. So
Nah,
It's
this
not,
is
it's,
not
not,
a
it's,
phased
not,
out.
it's not. When you talk about golden generation, now that '94 team that won the Afcon, for me that was a golden generation. You get that was a team that, in my opinion, would have won maybe one or two more Afcons if
the
we didn't
things,
get the
yeah.
ban, and if we went the 1996 South Africa won it. And how did they win it? Kenya said they were not hosting. They gave it to South Africa and South Africa won. I thought we would have won that.
Yeah, I think we
would have
fumbled
gone
the
further.
bag in the 90s.
Yeah, we did.
We fumbled the bag
did.
in the
It
90s.
wasn't down to the players, but again, we did.
Bag
So
in the 90s.
I look at the quality of those players. I look at the clubs those players represented in that. Only said Juventus, Dortmund,
Finidi George, Ajax.
George,
Yeah,
Ajax.
You know,
Kanu, of course, it
Inter
wasn't
Milan,
94 team
Ajax.
run. Yeah, yeah.
From there went to Arsenal. You look at the
Babayaro,
Babayaro,
also
Chelsea, Anderlecht, Chelsea.
Amokachi at Everton, and
yeah,
CSK
so
Moscow.
it was a really high level for that. I don't think this one is. I don't think they are generation. I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
So if
So we have one or two guys
Who are good?
and maybe can, if you do combine 11, maybe one or two of them can.
combine, nobody
Yeah.
from this
I-
team.
Osimhen, I think Osimhen.
I'm not
Osimhen.
Osimhen that will make a
Yeah,
shout.
so that's why I
Everybody.
said
Yeah, that's
one
why.
or two. I said one
Maybe
or
just
two.
one, not two.
Ademola Lookman,
Nah,
Dragon with
nah.
Amunike.
Nah. Ademola Lucas is not
Baba-
better. I don't think he's better than Finidi George.
Baba-
Not to talk about
No,
Munich.
Finidi
No,
is
no, it's
the
not
most-
better than
I was
Finidi.
thinking about it.
I don't think he's better than
Couple of
Finidi
days
George.
ago. And I think when we talk about the most underrated players in the world, not just Nigeria, in the world, I think Finidi is number one.
Yeah.
Finidi was
Definitely.
class.
Yeah. He was
He
considered
was-
probably
he was-
the best
yes.
wingers
Yes.
at
Yeah.
the time.
Finidi
Yeah.
was world class.
So I
Yes,
don't think he's
yes.
better
for
than.
someone, I don't like.
You
using
don't
word
use the
like-
word,
I don't
but
use it loosely.
Finidi was
But in
amazing.
this case, Finidi was absolute. You can read up the story on how he didn't. Was he Real Madrid? He was supposed to play for Real Madrid, from Ajax to Real Madrid, but something happened and that deal fell through. And
Even the likes of Tijani Babangida, I don't think Ademola Lookman is better than Tijani
Nah, he was better
Babangida.
than
I don't think so.
Nah,
I don't think so.
technically it was better than
I don't think
Babangida.
so. I don't think so.
I thought it was.
I don't
Babangida
think so.
was the advanced version of Pius Ikedia.
Nah, that's unfair. That's unfair on Babangida. I don't think Lookman is better than Babangida.
Nah, it was.
You
it was
look at
Napoli, it
so
was
you look at
technically-
you look at Finidi, Amunike, and Babangida. I'll take these guys ahead of Lookman.
Nah.
In terms of an all-time
Nah.
starting 11, I'll take these guys ahead
So
of Lookman.
we fondly remember that time, and rightfully so, for what they did. But if you look at, when you begin to isolate the performances and you look at
And
those
the
who were
players.
instrumental in, and on a technical level, I don't think. See, when this
Will you take
when
Lookman
this
ahead of
set
Osaze Odemwingie?
He's a better player than.
is a better player than Osaze.
I don't agree.
Lookman is-
Yeah,
I really don't
Lookman-
agree. I really don't agree. I really don't
Let
agree.
me. I said
Lookman
this.
dey play ball.
I really don't agree.
I already said this about Iwobi for Africa. Now I'm going to put in the world. How many left wingers in football are better than Lookman?
No, but you also look like we are in a period where left wingers are, would I say a premium?
Yeah, well, okay.
We also
Him.
went through that period where defensive midfielders were at a premium.
Yeah.
So you look at that and yeah, it's not exactly
Okay.
the best of standards.
All right, but in left, how many left wingers in football will you say are better than Vini, Rafinha, Papa, Kvaratskhelia, Ta.
Yeah, but
Pa. Everybody else, is behind him, not Doku. Let's not look at anybody for Man U.
there's nobody in the Premier League. There's nobody in the Premier League. To show you that's the problem. There's no left winger in the Premier League that you consider on the walls like top 5 leagues.
Okay, then that means
So
all
that's
of
the
them-
problem. That's the even
PSG and
just PSG and Madrid.
and Madrid and Barcelona. So we lock it out there.
Even Rafinha is a right winger that was converted to a left
Yeah,
winger.
but I mean, for the last 2 seasons now, he plays as the left.
I'm
winger,
telling you
so
that he's a right
that's
winger that
easy.
converted to a left winger. So you can clearly see it is not the best metric to judge.
Yeah, but you can only play with what you have, right? You can only play in the area that you are in. It's the same argument when I always say Son is better
Guys,
than.
yeah, you know what?
But
You
no.
know what? This conversation already have 2 conversations. On
It might even be more than 2.
It might be more than, but I've taken note of them. So we'll, in the coming days, weeks, months, we'll talk about them extensively. Right now, I'm tired of seeing your faces. I want to.
I have a package to go and pick up.
You have a package to go and pick up.
Producer, hey, Monvin.
Look, I am looking at the camera. If I turn up,
He ain't doing nothing.
nothing.
me and you are going to have a
That
problem.
part.
Hey, we need that part.
We are going to expose him.
I like. we need that.
All right, guys. we've
Come
to the
on.
end
My God,
now,
will judge
and
you.
another-
Hopefully, Super Eagles will lose, and then we'll not remember.
All right, guys, we need to leave right now. I'm sure you have enjoyed this package, Estraba Football Road to Afcon. And the next time we converge, it has to be Nigeria versus whoever in the final of the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Remember to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and also share. Thank you. Have fun.